everybody's doing well. As we all saw, the news this morning, and again, I found out this morning of the hiring of Allen Greene as our new athletic director. I don't know where to start. I can just tell you this: I'm really excited about that hire. Again, had nothing to do with it, but just focusing on coaching football, and obviously wasn't on the search committee, and nor did I have time to be on that. But I'll start off by saying, first of all, I thank Chancellor Gable for doing such a great job on this thing. I think Allen is a slam dunk hire. I don't think you could have gotten anybody in the world better. And I say that for a couple reasons. I think it starts with people. And probably 2017, maybe 2018. I think probably 2017. I was out in Arizona with my son at a Fiesta Frolic, kind of like coaches and meetings and all that kind of stuff out there. And I had an opportunity. I got paired up. I didn't ask to get paired up, but things happen for a reason. I got paired up to play with Allen Greene at a beautiful golf course out in Arizona, and obviously spent the day with him, and had kind of stayed in touch the entire time. As a matter of fact, when he got that Auburn job, I texted him when he was at Buffalo and texted him, "Hey, congrats, happy for you. You're gonna do a great job down there." All those things. He was a guy that I wanted to stay in touch with. It was kind of like this guy's top notch, and it starts with the people. I haven't watched how he ran an athletic department. I'm not worried about that. The Chancellor took care of that. But as far as people and wanting to work with somebody, the Chancellor did an unbelievable job of nailing that hire, which is significant. So I thank her. And I'm excited to work with Allen. Talked to him this morning as well. Congratulated him and his family. He is pumped up to be here. I guess you'll get a feel next week, and we'll get a chance to sit down next week, him and I. But he's excited, and that's about all I got to say there. On the football business, which is seems like my press conferences, whether it's a Monday or Friday, I get tied in with some big news that I got an opportunity to come speak to you about. But the main reason you're here, besides that exciting news of new leadership there, is for Syracuse. And I feel like we're playing Syracuse for the first time because it's a brand new staff. Obviously, first time playing him. Fran Brown, new head coach there. He's done an unbelievable job in such a short time. Obviously, his pedigree, his coaching tree, going from Matt Rule. He's been with Kirby Smart, Will Muschamp. He's been around some tremendous coaches, at some of the highest level of football as well. So he's done an incredible job. He's got 10 transfers on defense, 6 on offense. The Fidel Diggs kid, defensive end, is phenomenal. A guy you better know where he is every snap, and they move him around. And then obviously that one transfer quarterback, Kyle McCord, is a tremendous football player. If you're not a Pitt fan, if you're not a Syracuse fan, but you're a quarterback fan, you should get your tickets now, because that guy's going to play in the National Football League. We watched him on third down the other day. I don't know if he throws an incomplete pass, especially on third and medium. He throws darts. He's accurate. He's smart. He knows where to go with the ball. He will be the best quarterback that's walked in to play us in this stadium in a while. So we got a great chore ahead for us to defend him, and a slew of really good receivers. Like I said, they've got some transfers in that are phenomenal players. One of his favorite targets is a Georgia transfer that Fran Brown obviously had a relationship, maybe recruited him. I don't know the insides from Georgia, and got him to come with him to Syracuse. So he's transformed that football team. I think they're elite, and he's got Jeff Nick's offensive coordinator, came from pedigree of NFL teams, but was with the Carolina Panthers last. He worked with him at Baylor. So he's coached 15 years in the National Football League, and the offense looks like a pro style offense. He's got great personnel on offense, and then Elijah Robinson's their D coordinator, who Fran grew up with in Camden. Has been his guy, came from Texas A&M. So it's a whole new deal up there, and I'm happy for Fran. He's done a tremendous job. It's going to be a big battle between a 6-0 and a 5-1 football team Thursday night. So get your tickets. Jerry, you going to be there?
I'll be there.
Okay, let's go. Questions?
You mentioned transfers. Almost half the schools in the ACC have a transfer quarterback. And what is?
How about the SEC?
talking about the ACC right now. And there's transfer quarterbacks.
Do your
everywhere.
homework now. Okay.
There's transfer quarterbacks everywhere, but
Yeah.
specifically to the ACC, maybe half the schools in the ACC have a transfer quarterback. What is it about the conference that attracts these guys, and have they changed the competitive landscape of the ACC?
Yeah, I mean, we can go back to Nathan Peterman. Like we've had, I think the transfer quarterbacks have happened for a while. Matter of fact, I think there's a stat out there that 66% of high school quarterbacks transfer. That's crazy. I don't know if you heard that one, but 66%. I would say it's about the same in every conference. The guys are flipping. I think the cohesion between a quarterback and his offensive coordinator / quarterback coach is critical. If you're not feeling it, they just take off and they find that marriage. It's kind of like if you're not feeling it in marriage, you go you go find another one. I think it's the same thing for quarterbacks. I mean, especially in this day and age, you want to find that you want to get that guy that believes in you, that you can turn him into gold. And I think that's obviously what happened with Eli. And to me, that's what happened with McCord. If obviously he wasn't good enough to play at Ohio State or whatever, I don't know what those issues are, but he's phenomenal. So you find that right fit for you, and But quarterbacks around the country transfer. I would imagine if you went and searched the SEC and the Big Ten, you're going to see the same thing happening. I just saw someone's quarterbacks out this week, and Jeff Sims. I'm like, Jeff Sims, how do I know that name? And I was like, oh, the Jeff Sims, like Nebraska, Georgia Tech, and like he's on his third school. I'm like, I knew that name. I had to do a little research to find out. But so it's happening everywhere. But ACC is the conference of quarterbacks, right? So maybe that's the reason I truly believe since I've gotten here, the quarterbacks that we've played against and the quarterbacks that are in the NFL from the ACC is better than any conference, period. And so if I'm a quarterback in a different conference, I want to come to the ACC. So maybe our percentage is higher. I don't know.
Allen Greene has a background in NIL management. How important do you think that is given the current landscape?
Yeah, Amanda, that's it's a great question. I think everything's important, right? If that's all he's got, we got problems. I think he's the whole package, Amanda. I think he's got it all. But certainly that was something the chancellor, and again, it's a great question for the chancellor, probably more than me, but I think everything's important. You can't just have a guy that, or a gal that just does one thing. Hey, I'm good at this, but I'll manage these. I mean, I think he's a superstar. I think he's a superstar because he's a great person. He's got a personality. He's going to go out and help us raise money, whether that's for, the University of Pittsburgh, athletic department, or if it's for NIL and for our collective. I think he can do it all.
What was, as far as Cade and Eli this past week, what were some of the things they focused on? What did you hear from them, and what did you see them really kind of going after that mentality?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those games. Again, first thing I would give is give Cal credit, but I think just sometimes as a player, again, it goes back. Let's start with the coach. Just of feeling uneasy about what happened on the left side of your offensive line and kind of getting a little cautious. That's probably one of them, and then just being over anxious to go make a play. I think you're playing a good football team. You just got to be careful, and So again, it's a learning lesson. Let me tell you, like walking out of that game with a win and not playing very good on offense. What's better than that, right? I mean, there's nothing better than that. Just sat in a receiver quarterback meeting last week, whatever day that was. Just listening to they get coached up. Like a lot of things. We learned a lot of things from that game, and our players learned a lot. You got to learn from your mistakes, but there's no loss. Trust in Eli. I think he's spectacular. I think he's gonna bounce back. But sometimes when you try too hard, that's a problem. But he's gonna be fine.
Did he run around enough in that game, Cal game?
I don't know. Maybe it's a great question for him, Gary. I mean, did he run around enough? Could he run around enough? I mean, I think they did a good job at containing the pocket. Every quarterback or every defense is going to do a little bit different. Are they just going to get you, or are they going to try to capture you, as we've talked maybe in the past? But they did a nice job of kind of just sealing and pushing the pocket and condensing things. So it wasn't, if an offensive, if a quarterback sees this big old hole as wide as this aisle here, it invites you to take that. But when the seams are smaller and you're kind of going, if I try to sneak through, there's that guy going to stick his arms out, grab me by the face mask or the shoulder and pull me down, and it's a bad scramble. So you got to feel those lanes, and if you got the right ratios, it's harder to get out. And I think they did a good job of, you know, keeping him in there and making him have to throw it out of there. And they did a good job on the back end. And again, we'll learn from it. I think it was a great learning game, and we got the win at the same time.
You guys were able to get to the quarterback a lot this past week. Just kind of how important is it to replicate that process and maybe, or replicate that performance, take the pressure off the secondary?
Yeah, getting pressure on the quarterback is obviously critical every week with Kyle McCord back there. With the ball in his hand. I mean, let me just tell you, third and medium. I mean, if you look at third and medium, okay, third and long he's good too, but third and medium, it's like this. I'm watching a videotape. Like the guy throwing a complete pass. I mean, like he's special. I mean, he's as good a quarterback as I've seen, you know, that we've got to defend this week. So, pressure on the quarterback, hurries on the quarterback, you know, making him, you know, again, he's gonna give him. He does a great job in the pocket. It's just giving ground. If he's getting pressured, of giving ground, and then it's like, how do you complete that ball? He's like Houdini back there. So, he's fun to watch.
Gave up over 100 yards receiving to Andres, the tight end from Cal.
Yeah.
What kind of, is there any different challenges Oronde Gatson presents?
Yeah. You know, Gatson, you know, presents the same issue, okay? And they got, you know, problems all over the field. You know, but Amanda, the biggest problem is when you don't do your job and you don't cover the guy, he's going to catch the ball, okay? You know, if you go back and look at that tape, I mean, the one time he went right down the middle and, you know, we've got it busted coverage. Everybody else is locked down. It's like, if you watch it, you're going, why is someone covering that guy? Why is someone covering that guy perfectly? Well, there's nobody on number 3. Like, what happened? Okay, so we all know, I mean, everybody knows in the entire stadium, like, someone messed up, right? It's a coverage bust. And then there's some other times he caught one across the field where it was a scramble, where a certain coverage, he didn't pass it off, but, you know, that comes down to pressure. I mean, scramble, you got to lock on your guy, and we didn't lock on, and he caught one, you know, coming out the back door. But I think the best one is like when our guys are laser focused in a 2-minute situation, we go 4 plays and we're off the field, the game's over. But yeah, that's what it comes down to, that focus for 60 minutes. It can't be, you know, 58 will cost you. And it costs us, you know, you kind of go, you know, want to go put pressure on the quarterback and someone gets anxious, like, oh, I think I can get home. You got to cover your guy if your guy goes out. And it wasn't like the tight end was in the box and you thought maybe he was going to block. He was out there wide and we didn't cover him. So it's just a mental bust. Some guys, you have a little something pop in your head and you forget. So, but, you know, again, great opportunity, you know, to learn from those problems and still get a win.
How did you feel about the way Terrence Enos and Jason Carter played on the left side? And if you have to go with replacements on those 2 spots again, would it be those 2 guys again?
Yeah, Terrence Enos, you know, was the unsung hero on offense. So I can tell you that Terrence Enos played really well. You know, coming in and replacing Branson, he got that opportunity, so he did a phenomenal job. And Collier played okay, like he has played. We'd like a little bit better in there. Didn't play as good as he wanted to or we wanted to, but you know, we got to coach him better too.
Coach, you guys are 6-0 for the first time in over 40 years. You obviously knew this group was special, but does this shock you at all that you're standing here at 6-0?
You know, nothing shocked me. You know, we could have been sitting here, you know, last October 18th and been 6-0 as well, in my mind, because you know, you're always positive, and I loved our kids last year, but just this team's just got a different resilience, and you love the team week by week by what they do. You kind of go, wow, you did it again. You know, you did it again. You came back. You hung in there. You know, so you know, it's every week. You know, it's how they play, how they respond. You know, through the adversity and even the successes they've had. And but you know, that's in the past, and you know, we're working on the next. I'm not surprised. I'm never surprised at anything in this world. But you know, we need to respond, and we had 3 great days of practice and preparation already, and we'll get back up on Sunday and have another one then, and Monday, Tuesday, and get ready for the game.
Defense was great against Cal. What makes you think it can be sustainable over the last 6 weeks?
I think I think that like little by little you see improvement. You know, you see that young defensive lines. You know, you continue to see Kyle Lewis, and you know, Lovelace played outstanding. Going back to Cal. I mean, obviously Rasheem Biles didn't play in that game, and he will this weekend. But Lovelace played his tail off. You know, I threatened him I threatened Lovelace. I was going to change his number because I really loved how he played number 35. And he'll laugh because I'm telling the story. So I texted him saying, I think you play good in 35. I'm going to change you back to 35. I didn't like 0. You were a better player at 35. Coach, I'll show you. And guess what? He showed me. So my hat goes off to Braylon, just playing like he did, having the game he did. He was special. And you lose Lovelace, or excuse me, you lose Biles for a game, and all of a sudden Lovelace steps up, and you're like, wow, that's what we've been looking for. We just found another player that could be an all ACC player. So that's what you expect guys to step up when they need to. And but I've seen just Lovelace, whether it's Jimmy Scott. I mean, these guys just keep getting a little bit more confident. The more reps they get, and it's called development. And again, we do a good job developing our guys from year 1 to year 4, or game 1 to game 4, 5, or 6.
Do you think this is the deepest group of linebackers you've had since you've been here?
Not really. Not as I remember there was one year in June sitting out on the field. I was looking around like, whoa, where are our linebackers at? Like, it looked. I don't remember what year it was. Been here too many years, but there's. I mean, we've got special guys. I mean, people would say, oh, you lost a couple. How could it be your deepest? But we've got Jordan Bass. It just keeps getting a little bit better every game, which is what we want. We don't that instant success is scary, but like he keeps getting better. Jeremiah Marson got a chance to get some meaningful reps, not mop up duty at the end, and he learned some things I think from Saturday. So he's going to be a really good player. So we've got we've got playmakers. We got special guys. I don't know if it's the deepest. Maybe it is. Maybe I lied to you. I don't know.
You wouldn't do that.
I would, maybe by accident I would, Joey. By accident. I probably should say it's the best, right? I don't know.
And how was Rylan Gandy playing for you this year?
Rylan Gandy's been spectacular. Rylan Gandy has been, I know he came in our season being the #1 guy. Again, another guy. Him and Rashad Battle both continue to get better every week. Taman is like you don't know what you're going to get going into the year. I mean, you got 3 brand new quarters that are taking the majority of the reps. But Rylan's been that guy that is steady, and he's not going to be perfect, but there's no player or corner for sure that's lined up and pressed out there all the way on an island. But so I'm excited for him, and he's actually doing some games tonight. I think he's doing a high school game tonight, doing the colors. So I'm being a communications major, open week, Friday off. So I'm excited. I'm not sure what game it is. I see Donovan McMillan coming in today, all decked out and in his gear for his game. It's a homecoming game, so I think a lot of our guys are going to have fun. Maybe going to some high school games, whether they're going to watch that game, Peter Township game, or they're going to go do the color.
How important is it to have a bye week before Thursday night game? What are your thoughts of Thursday night games overall?
It's important. It's more than important. It's almost we played early in our early in my tenure here. A North Carolina team play on Saturday and play again on Thursday. That's brutal. That's I wouldn't wish that upon anybody in the country. I think in the NFL when they play on a Sunday they got to play on Thursday as well. I mean it's just like shouldn't happen. I think it happened to Steelers either last year or the year before. It's like it's near impossible to practice. You're just I don't know what you're doing. You're going out and playing games. That's it, because you're really not practicing, or you have a beat up team. So it's huge, and and then it gives you a couple extra. I love a Thursday night game where you have the week off the week before, so you got a few extra days to prepare for a Syracuse team, and then you got a couple extra days to prepare on the back end for that next game. Not only prepare as a coach, but get your team a little healthy. 2 days means a lot for our kids' bodies. There's a lot of contact.
Since 2018, you guys are 9-1 coming off of extended rest. What has been your approach as allowed you guys to be so successful after that, time off?
I didn't know that record. I thought EJ would tell me, but of course, kid EJ.
Thanks, Dave.
It's a pretty good.
Speak afterwards.
Pretty good record after I would say probably that one is that one. Well, not extended time. That was not extended. That was lack of extension. But I would say, just getting our guys fresh. Freshness is important. I think freshness is good for everybody, mentally and physically. You know, for guys to go to a high school game today, that's mental freshness. Like it's kind of a, you know, just a sigh of relief, just to kind of, you know, hey, we don't have to play this weekend. Let's go, you know, have some fun at a high school game. I wish I could go out. You know, the NCAA's taking days away from us, so I don't get to go to a high school game tonight. Usually I would be on a Friday night. So we got our players out scouting, looking for guys. So
They report back to you.
They report back to me with some video, yes. So.
You're halfway through the season with this new offense. What have you loved about it, and what are some of the issues you've seen with it?
What do I love about it? I like when you score points, and you want to, most explosive, offenses in the country. I think that's a bonus. You know, one of the negatives is, just time of possession, but I don't know if that has anything to do with that at all. I think there's two things that have maybe impacted time possession in 2024. It's the invention of the green dot. While we're going up tempo, everybody else has slowed it down, to a snail pace, like we were last year. So to me, I'm just worried about being explosive on offense, scoring points, and I trust our defense. I mean, we played an extra quarter last week. I mean, the defense was on the field a quarter longer than our offense was, and that's one of the bad ones, offensively that we've had during the year. So it's hard to play an extra quarter on defense and have the energy that our kids had at the end of that game defensively to get the stops they needed and make the plays they did. I mean, when you look at that field goal, when they went up to line up for that field goal, we talk to our guys all the time about, like a field goal formation, when it lines up, okay, you see, everybody knows what a field goal formation looks like, right? Center, 2 guards, 2 tackles, 2 tight ends, 2 wings, right? And our job as a defense is to destroy that formation. You're not going to get a block every time, but it's punishing them. And at the end of the day, we want it to not look like a field goal team. You guys can watch some games tonight, and the field goal team lines up, and when it's done, you say, "What field goal team? The formation is still there." We want to try to destroy that formation. That's our goal. It's just to penetrate, pound until something happens. And our kids did that. But I would say the impact of the offense is probably time possession, but I think it's also been magnified because of everybody's slowing it down, and everybody's using the green dots, and they're going to wait to break the huddle until about. You'll see this weekend. I would imagine Syracuse is they do a little tempo. I would say like 25% tempo, but we'll see. We always expect more, but they're going to wait till 15 seconds left in the play clock and then break the huddle. It's happened all year. People are breaking the huddle with 15 seconds left so that I can't talk to Jerry and tell Jerry, hey, watch out for this. Hey, check this, or let's check this. They don't want any communication going on. So that's why they've slowed down. Just as it's a response to, hey, we can slow down. We're going to get it. They'd rather have no communication from the defense than line up fast and let you have communication.
Anything final before we wrap things up?
Since we're at the end, I'll save this for the end. Tony Bennett resigned today, and he cited that poor health, he said, of college athletics. Can college athletics survive? I mean, he's one of many high-profile coaches, including Nick Saban, who resigned recently.
Yeah.
A lot of them have cited.
And our head basketball coach over there at Villanova as well, a couple years ago, he got out before, caved in. Can it survive? It's going to survive. It's never going to go anywhere. It's who's going to hang in there long enough to continue to ride the waves, right? I mean, to me, you have to change with the times, and it's part of the job. That's what it's what we do. It's why we do what we do. You got to embrace change, I guess. I mean, some people want to embrace it. Some people are like, like I don't need it, right? I think anytime someone says, "Hey, I don't need it anymore," I think he probably decided months ago he didn't need it, and made that decision yesterday. So I just think it's what you want to put up with, and he decided he didn't want to put up with it anymore. He was going to probably sit on a beach somewhere and enjoy himself. God bless him.
Why do you hang in there?
Because you love to compete. I mean, you love to compete. You love to play this game, and you love to coach these kids. I mean, you love to be, just the interaction with our guys in the team meeting in the mornings. That's why you do it. If you're just doing it for other reasons, like if you're just doing it for Saturdays and the joy of a Saturday afternoon, you're struggling. You're out the door as soon as you can. But you better be doing it for more than just a couple reasons. You better have a lot of reasons. It's the love of the game.
Coach, thank you very much.
All right.